Well people, I'm here at the fishery in Surrey where everybody comes to try and catch a zander, but I've come early. It's Berry Hill Fisheries, the main estate lake, and I really don't know. It's an area I've not fished before. I come down to the peg numbers in the, I think it's the 40s, the middle 40s, and Dave in the tackle shop told me I can come down here. There's other anglers up there, so I want to get away if I'm filming. We'll get away from the other anglers a bit. So a bit of peace and quiet up, and I don't disturb them with messing around filming and stuff. So here I am. I've got nice swims. There's swims and pegs all along here. I'd imagine there's zander come around all the time, but what I want to do is get some ground baiting, because I'd like to be able to catch, if I can, a couple of bream for you on the quiver tip first. Now the wind's picking up this way. I might have to put the brolly up here if I'm filming, but I'm just about, I'll chuck some ground baiting. Now what I've done is this. I've baited up here with, there's some red and white maggots in there, but that's old ground bait. It's got bran and Baileys in it. And a guy told me, he said, let it go sour for a day or two, a couple of days, and that's about 3 or 4 days old. And you can, it does smell. They reckon that that sour smell can bring the fish on, which, you know, I've never done that. I've always not liked the smell myself, so I assume the fish don't like it. We will find out, because I've put about 6 ground bait balls out there. I'm also going to put some other ground bait in here for my feeder, via feeder only, of 2mm pellets. Now the way to do this is you damp these. Now, if you get yourself a bait container like this, they've got small holes in there for ventilation to keep your maggots and live bait and you know, worms, live worms and that in there. So if you just get your pellets, just swill a bit of water all over them like this, put the lid on. This is what the matchman tell me. Just stand it there for about 30 seconds, let that soak up a bit, and then I'll turn it off and strain it, and they should go sort of tacky and sort of not too gluey, not too loose for the feeder. Meantime, hook baits I've got here, just show you. I went fishing on a small river yesterday. We did really well on these. Just regular garden worms, these ordinary regular garden worms. When I've been doing the garden, I've dug them up and saved them. If you keep them cool, you should put moss in them. I couldn't find any moss, so I've got bits of grass, damp grass. One thing, you put any water, don't put water in from the tap, because the chlorine will generally kill them. So I've got worms, and I've got some maggots. Dave gave me all red, because he said the bream here do like red maggots. Wow, that wind's coming up now. Unusual direction normally. So it's got a bit of east in it. These are going to be thawing out. These are the frozen baits they do here for zander fishing. I cut them in half. I'll show you those later. I'm going to let them thaw out. I've got my rigs in there, and I'm going to be having a cook up later on, hopefully when it gets dark. I'm going to fish into the dark, and here's day ticket, but as I understand it, I'm talking 2018, always check, always phone the fishery people, or phone Dave in the tackle shop, because you can get a membership, and that will allow you to do any night fishing, as I understand it. Don't take my word for it, phone the tackle shop up. One of the Daves will put you straight and tell you what the latest rules and regulations are. So I'm going for 2 quiver tip rods. Quiver tip rods, for those who don't know, are very, very light tips like this. Come in different grades. I'm actually going to be lobbing a feeder out there. That wind is coming up. Hopefully it's not going to mess me up. And then I'll probably just change these rods, the tops of these rods, to a regular Avon. These are Avon rods, and I'm going to be using a quiver tip for the bream for a while, and till it gets to about, really early again, 20 to 2, and I haven't even started. All the other anglers have been here since about 7. Anyway, what I want to do now, put those reels there. This has had a soak for, what do you reckon, a minute? So all you do, I always do this in the water, not down here, because a fish might come around there. Turn it upside down, look, all the water drains out. And they just shake them like that to get that surplus water out. And there's enough there inside, as you can see it draining out. Hopefully you can see all this. That's all good stuff. If you were margin fishing somewhere else, look at this here, look at all this smell that's coming out of the water. Wouldn't surprise me on other commercial waters that the fish come in close. So that's pretty well got the surplus out, but just leave it like that, look, just to drain out a bit more. Let's get rigged up. Okay, let's check this out now. Here's the ground bait, and you can see it's gone pretty claggy and sticky there. That's just enough with a few maggots in there and worms to go inside what I've got here, which is a running ledger, and it's got a little clip link here, so in fact I can actually take that off if I can. Got to get myself some new eyes. So you can change feeder sizes should you so wish, like that, or you can even change it and go to a lead on there as well, you know, a weight, a bomb as we call it. This is like 5-6 pounders per normal, that runs up and down there. It's got little grips inside there so it holds the feed better. This is, I think, 3 point something or other Stroff, which is about £7, but very fine. I like it and it's supple. So, put a few maggots and worms in there. Now, what I like to do, I have to tell you guys, I'm going to be fishing worm on the hook, but I'll put a few maggots. These maggots actually do help it break up, you know, in the feed. If you've got a bit of a sticky mixture, the maggots wriggling apart will help it break up a bit. I'm going to get some worms. Perch fishermen do this, match fishermen. And just chop a few worms up in there as well. I'm not even worried about bits of grass going in. We used quite a lot of these yesterday. We had perch, chub, I think we had roach, loads of stuff. Nobody likes cutting worms up. It's not a problem. Don't cut them up. But there's a lot more juice in there. And I think that there's not much difference between cutting a worm up and putting one on the hook to let it get eaten by a fish. Is there? Surely not. Surely can't be much difference. Make sure I've got enough. Don't cut so many up, people, that you haven't got any for hook bait, will you? I think we used more than I thought yesterday, actually. There's another big one he can go. And of course, you can see these. If I take out the lettuce, you can see those wriggling away in there, which together with the maggots might actually attract a nibble. I'm going to bait my hook up first, purely because if I put the feeder and fill the feeder up first, by the time I come to do the hook bait, the maggots and wriggling action will have emptied some of the feed and made it loose and it flies out on the car. So I do it this way, you see. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Mix it all up and don't squeeze it too hard. Just a little bit of light feed like that. I'm holding it, and then I'm going to go straight out and line myself up over there. Like that, a little bit farther with this one, bosh. And just pull it once to straighten that trace out. And I've got my buzzers very high. It's just the way I like fishing with them. I could put them to the side. I'll probably see more of it to the side pulling around. I might change it, see how I feel. Big heron over there. So we'll see what comes. So on this one I've got maggots, and on that one I've got my worm. That's on the soured ground bait, I'm going to call that feed. And this is on straight 3mm coarse pellets of normal stuff. We'll see if we get any bites, and then as it gets towards dusk I'll be changing over and trying for Zander. But generally speaking, the Zander don't really come on till the lower light levels. Lovely setting on the lake. I'm going to get the umbrella set up here. Oh, I've got a bit of company, look. Hello chaps, how are you? Don't bang your head on there when you go under. You need to duck. Duck. God love it, haven't you? How do I stand on the same fishing platform as myself? I generally have my stuff all over the place, so I like to get a rod in first. Oh, all is not lost already. Look, what's this? Here we go. Somebody's left a nice little bait container there. That can go back. Put some screws in that. I'm going to bait this other one up and chuck this out again. I'm actually using one of these cage feeders. Hopefully you can see. Again, you just squeeze it around into the cage, and it makes pretty much the same size as the ball of ground bait that I threw out there. You can just mould it around. Squeeze this one relatively tight and chuck that out. I didn't go out quite far enough last time, but I did see the odd nibble on it, so I always give it one tweak on a feeder just to send a little cloud of food particles out there. And I keep those quivets at the top, I keep them not too tight. I don't like them bowed over because there's enough, with wind playing on the line here, there's enough to tension them up a little bit. And we've got up a little bit more there. And I keep these purely because if I'm filming or messing around, at least hopefully it gives me an indication of a fish. Well, I was actually filming the ducks down here. Missed a bite, looked up and he just sprang back. I thought I've missed it, but listen, look, I don't know if you're going to see this here. If you look, I'll put it against the black of that camera. You might be able to see a little globule there. I'm going to pull it up. That's bream slime, just there. Like there, that's bream slime. So the bream are out there, and that was a bream bite that I missed, and that was on the worm. So, let's get this one back out there, and that was on the regular 2 milk horse pellets. So I think I'm going to refill that. And sometimes you can also, if I dig around in there, you can tip off with a maggot, maybe a white maggot. I've only got red here, but you can tip off with a red maggot. I can't use a big camera because there's machinery going all over the place here. Just like that. Make what we call a cocktail bait. And very often that can pick a fish up as well. I'm not really happy where I'm fishing, I've got to say. I won't sound confident down here, especially now this wind's come up. But then again, probably everybody's in the same boat. Let's get that out of there. There's some guys carp fishing way down there. They'll have the wind off them in the top carp swim there. I think people must actually live in that swim. Carp must be almost hand-fed daily. And I think, I've done my duck film, and you can see how close they come. I'm going to move this other one as well. Now, these are the rigs. I'll wait for more bites. I've had a couple of little trembles up there, but nothing else. The wind has at last gone down. These are the rigs where they use for the Zander. You can see it's called Predator rigs. It's a single hook, barbless, size 6. It says hand tied in the UK. Obviously, it is wire, and this is indeed to protect the stock here, because there are very few places, in fact I don't know of any outside of really sort of Norfolk, where you can go and catch Zander. And here, not going to say I'm going to catch one, I hope I will, but here I do have numbers of them in this lake, and there's a good chance of getting to pick up when it gets towards dusk. So I'm just rigging up here ready. In fact, what I'm going to do is, while it's still a bit light, I'm going to use a float here. I've got a self-righting float with a weight there. I suppose you could use it sea fishing, you could use it. It's called a Premier Leaded Pike number 1. Well, there you are. Because I'm wondering if I use one of these deadbaits whole, even though the water's coloured, there might be, I'll put the rig down, I can't find it. There might be a chance of, outside chance, very, almost impossible chance of a pike. But I'm not going to catch anything with it in the tackle box, am I? It's got to be in the water. So, I'm going to tie this up. The geese are going crazy over there. A little bit of spit on the knot. Put it down. Snip the tag end off, but put the tag end back in your tackle box. You don't want it all over the swim. Just put it in the box. You brought it with you, take it back. So this just slides up and down the line like that. And what I'm going to do is put a shot just up here, about 3 feet, and just let it sort of cast out and let it drift around under its own devices in the breeze. I've got a 3-rod ticket. Over in the UK, you have different licensing systems for 2 rods. I've got the old age pensioners one for 3 rods, so I'm allowed to use 3. Which is handy, it's a bit of a bonus. I'll be honest, I've never really caught that many more with 3 than I have with 2. But all the carp anglers seem to use it a lot, so why shouldn't I as well? Now, this is a barbless hook. So if I hook this on, I'm going to show you this anyway. I think I've mentioned it before. It's worth noting though, barbless hook, pretty sure sooner or later you're going to cast it off. All I'm going to do is nick it through both jaws like that, okay? So it's hanging there, but obviously it can slide straight off. So I get myself a rubber band, I cut a section off the rubber band. This was the one that was around my wallet, so it's valuable. And you just want the tiniest, weeniest little piece of band. And you'll see this, just like that there, to go over the point of the hook. Now, of course, this is just the way I do it. Old school. Rubber band just helps hold that bait on the hook. Doesn't slide off. Well, it doesn't slide off so easily. I've got that 3 or 4 feet deep. I've got a little 1000 size reel loaded up with about 15-pound line. And I'm going to chuck that out. I can twitch it every once in a while. I can just leave it, I can let it drift on the wind. I'm watching it. And you can also put things called run clips on them if you want. I'll show you. See if I've got an old run clip to show you. You can also either back the drag off, open the bail arm. You can put a rubber band around here, just around here like this, and put the line in there as a run clip. I could almost do it with one of those. Or indeed I might even have an old run clip. I can show you what they look like. Just twitch it every once in a while. Or indeed just undo the drag so the drag's off. I mean, that's a fiddle really, like that, doing it like that. Let's put him down there for a minute. You might just be able to see the float out there. The wind's come up again, might work in my favour. So a run clip is one of these things. You can see that, like a circular piece of nylon. This one's about 30, 40 years old. Little tag end, like a giant fingernail there. And that can go either over the blank if it's a fat blank, or it can go, I don't know if that will go around that one. Now that blank's too small for it. So we just stretch that around here. There you go. It clips onto the cork. You can see just like this. As you can see, it's sideways on the blank, not underneath. Get the knuckle of the bail arm here. Just nick that piece of line into or underneath that little piece of nylon there. Then you can open this and it won't all spill off in the wind. And then should a fish take, it pulls here and pops free and can pull all this line off with no resistance, and hopefully won't drop the bait, gives you time to strike. And you don't lose the rod obviously by having the bail arm shut like that, which might yank straight in the water. So it might be worth investing in a few of these, if they still make them. I guess they do. Round it goes like this, pop it in, open the bail arm, and then the line is like this, ready to go. Hopefully you guys can see that. As well as just letting that wind blow that float around and give you some movement, if you're packing up, say, bait fishing in another area here, don't be afraid to throw that bait over there. In fact, I will be doing that. I will be putting my 2 Zander dead baits on the bottom, or sections over there where I've been fishing anyway. But it's always worth it, because all those small fish are attracted there, of which I can't catch any at the moment. Any fish that go around that ground bait, any predator in the area will zone in on that as well. So it's always worth trying. And of course, you can do this, you can just twitch this every now and then. You don't have to leave it static, you just give the rod a little tweak. You'll see the float bob up and down like that, and because that's moving the dead bait underneath, making it flash, making it move like it's alive. You can change the depths, you can let it drag over the lake bed, you can fish it shallow and let it go faster. If you want to slow it down, you can let it drag across the lake bed. And don't be afraid, when you're pipe fishing especially, is to go down the margins. So a lot of the time there will be fish around the margins. I'm going to put that a little bit deeper because that drifted quite fast. All I do is either put a stop knot because I'm not fishing very deep here, I've got my shot there, look. That's the depth it's at, maybe 4 feet. I can just move the shot up, pinch the shot on again, I get fish about 5 feet, let it drag across the bottom. In the run clip, open the bail arm, just sit and watch the float. Or, in my case, motionless quiver tip rods. Wow, it's got really a little bit nippy, boys. It's that easterly wind, I'm pretty sure it's that easterly wind that's a kiss of death. I've had a handful of little tweaky bites. Nothing has even really chewed the worm or chewed the maggot. There's small fish. I've not had one pull down bite that's, you know, held it down. And I've got my dead bait out there drifting around, for pike at the moment, and or zander, nothing. I'm basically just sitting here. I've moved back a little bit here just so I can get this brolly up. Because it's that cold. I didn't bring a big jacket with me, but it's just an easterly, it's so cutting, and I'm pretty sure with nothing moving on the surface, that's what's done it. So I'm trying to think, if I don't get a zander tonight, where am I going to go catch some fish? Maybe I should go on a river again, try and catch some dace. That's the best of all-round fishing, is, you know, you can chop and change. Otherwise, it's going to get really cold, places freeze up, rivers flood, lakes flood, the leaves will be coming off the trees, they're going to mess it up, they're going to sort of sour a lot of lakes. So it's a funny old time of year trying to find a few fish somewhere. And there's absolutely nobody fishing around the other side. I'm here on my own. Just been talking to another guy, those beach fishing and cod fishing, and we're talking about the lack of fish on the beach as well, so that's quite interesting. You might not, I don't know whether you've seen that, but I had a little nod, little tremble on that left hand quiver tip there. And I've thrown the right hand one out a long way now, just trying to try something different as you do. You know, this reminds me very much of beach fishing, the UK beach fishing. You know, it's just really, really tough. But the wind, the clouds are still pulling across there. It looks flat and glassy, but I can assure you the air movement out there is pretty parky. So all I'm doing now basically is waiting for dark to come, the low light levels, and then I'll get the swim feeder rods in and put half sections of fish bait out there and see if I can't get a zander. And if I don't get a zander and I blank, I don't know where I'm going to go. You guys have to tell me. Got to catch a few fish. I've got to catch a few fish. I feel a local river. I've got some of these maggots left. Bizarre. The fishing sometimes is so patchy and hit and miss. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If you look here, loads and loads of berries on the tree, holly berries. Don't know what species this one is, but my grandparents always used to say, if there's lots of berries on the tree, that's a sign of a bad winter. So not only is today looking a bit grim for the fishing at the moment, it's also looking a bit grim for the whole winter. Wait till you see what I've got for a cook-up. That's going to cheer me up. Fumbling, fumbling, fumbling. Long last, I've got a fish of some description hooked up on the feeder rod here. It was a tiny, tiny bite. And I am at least one step closer to saving the blank. It's not very big. Let's get the landing net. I've got the lead everywhere. It'd be nice to save the blank, wouldn't it, people? Wouldn't it just? What is it? It's a bream. Oh yeah. Thank the Lord for that. Nice bream too. Nice bream. Here he comes. Here he comes. Man, he's hooked under the chin. How lucky is that? And he is in. There you go. No, he's just taken red maggots, as Dave said, a little worm as well. Let's check him out. That was a long time coming. Big thing about bream, guys, is they are a shoal fish. Yeah, it's a nice one. It's a nice one. Nice autumn bream. You should be able to see there his lovely golden eye, Jim. He's just nicked there. Just on the edge. In fact, he was just mouthing that. Red maggots and a bit of worm on, wait for this, that was the open end feeder. So, pleased with that. Now, do I change? Do I think I have a few more casts or stick with the bream, I think, or shoalfish? I've got a little bit of light left before I try for Zander. Now, they're slippery and slimy as we know, bream. But, I mean, that was my target species. Pleased to catch it. Those tiny little quivers, maybe they're bream all the time, I don't know. But they're certainly not feeding properly yet. Anyway, I've got one of these. If I could get one Zander to go with it, I figure I've got a bit of a success on a cold easterly wind day. There we go, we just put him back here. Just tip him out the net there. And away he'll recover there. And away he goes. Save the blank, my boy, thank you. So you can see here across the other side of the lake, they are actually trying to protect lilies that they're planted for regrowth, and they've got this screen or mesh around them to stop the Canada geese there, and there's a lot of waterfowl from pulling them all up. At least, you know, it just gives those lilies a chance to take root, and then come sort of May time, hopefully, they're going to come back up and you can get a float along the side of them, because those lilies do attract fish, especially the tench and the roach. Just one last cast for the bream before I change over to the Zander, and I think I've got another one hooked up here, so it's stilled off. That awful east wind has stopped, and it is looking, as it always should do at Berry Hill Fisheries, absolutely idyllic. Let's turn it round this way for you. That's probably not a big fish, but listen, it's one of those days I'll take anything. There's the heron. Well, I don't feel too bad. Just taking it steady, because that last one was just nicked. Here we go, people. It's just hanging there. Oh, he's in. He's in. I don't actually think it's as big as the last one. Pull this up for you, you'll see it better. There he is. Super little fish. And he's going to jump nearly everywhere. Here comes Dave, the bailiff. Is he lucky for me or what? Let's get this guy back. Thank goodness, two of them showed up. Saying nothing, boys, but there was a fish there. Dave's behind me. You can witness, can't you, Dave?
I did see it. It was the biggest one I've seen all week.
Yeah, thank you for that. Check's in the post.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to pack up this feeder rod now, guys. I'm going to put those traces I showed you, going to put those on and see if we can't pick up a Zander anyway. Well, I've been sidetracked talking to Dave from the tackle shop all about trotting on the Thames for roach, which he said is all the rage at the moment, so maybe we'll get down and do a film on that. Got to get it set up, you've got to get conditions right, and the conditions of my stomach at the moment, they've got to get right, and I'm going to be doing that by having, wait for this, a bit of a cook up on my gas stove here. Well, it's not mine, it's not mine, it's Mike's. So I've got my Zander baits out there now, half head sections of roach that you get them from the shop. Tackle shop sells those, and nothing at the moment. If I could get one Zander, I'd be pleased. I wanted 2 bream, I got 2 bream. I got some small skimmers, didn't show them all of them. The last one fell off right at the last minute. So they were there, the fish, but they were tiny, tiny little bites, really, really small bites. I had them down a small roach all the time, and I do wonder now I'd have made a mistake, but they didn't pull down enough to give me something to strike. So I'm going to get this on the go. If I don't get a Zander, I'll probably come back another night, maybe even tomorrow evening, late afternoon, evening, and get something on the boil here. Of course, we all know the minute I get myself organised here, one of those buzzers might go off. And I'm going to have, wait for this. Oh, I have got it. I was going to say I was going to have nothing except raw bacon if I'd forgotten Mike's little cooker. They're really good, these little cookers. I've got to get this one on my boat because it's the right size. It won't fall over on the boat, rolling around. I just hope I can remember how to put the legs on it. So let's get this guy going. Oh, hang on a minute, hang on. Something's happening. I don't know if I'm going to get this, guys. Oh, fish on, people. I knew the minute I get near that frying pan, I'm going to get a toad, and that's what's happened. Doesn't feel like a big fish, unless it's not set for any fish. Down, well, I might be able to lift this. No, I missed it. I'll try and lift this over here for you. If he falls off, he falls off. You have to trust me, people. There is indeed somewhere in the depths here a Zander. I'm pretty sure it's a small one. There we go. Thank you, people. There we go. It's in the net. Burial fishery Zander. I didn't even get a chance to get my frying pan going with that bacon and eggs. A spiky tooth predator. Zander, look at the teeth on that. Lovely looking fish. Well pleased with that. We need to get these bacon and eggs on the go. But I've got a feeling the Zander are now on the bite. Let's get this guy back. Hopefully you can see him. Camouflage nocturnal night hunter. Got the bobbin sorted out. So this is a bait. There's the traces that you can get here. A single hook, a little rubber band, section of rubber band, just snipped and tucked onto the point there to stop it coming off. And that's going to get posted straight out there. Guys, you've heard the beep. I've lost it. I was on again, it's a butt ringer. Wow. I can't see me doing any fry-ups tonight. That fish was on, and that was on half section. Very good adjustment on this one. Really good. Except the frying pan falls off. I've got a little tub of cooking oil here. Let's put that in there. And what I think is going to happen, one of these rods is going to go off. I just got that feeling. I've got some smoked bacon here. Once this gets frying, can you imagine, now the wind has eased a bit, the smell of this wafting out across the lake. It's not good for all those carp fishermen, is it? These are, I don't think it's from smoked bacon, maybe it was, no, it's smoked bacon with sort of hint of Bream slime and Zander slime as an addition. I'm going to whack an egg in there as well later. Wow, the smell off of that is something else. I think I'm going to pop another one in there, boys. Michael should be here for this, shouldn't he? Zander fishing, bushcraft style. Notice the backrest here is the back of my front of my trolley. There's a bite. I'm sure that was a run then. You guys tell me. That looks tasty to say the least. It's got to be a cold sandwich. I'm going to have a hot one. I've even brought some of this stuff as well. Turn it off. We're ready to rock and roll, boys. This one is going to get the full Monty. Because I didn't exactly have a lot of sandwiches with me. Quality gourmet dining, Graeme pudding style. There's a lot of guys out there that can smell this bacon and eggs cooking, drifting across the idyllic lake. Probably find some smart aleck saying, "Oh, it's banned. You can't eat bacon and eggs, mate. It's a carp water. You can't eat bacon and eggs. It's not allowed." Didn't see a sign for it. Oh my God. Am I going to get in a mess with this if a rod goes off? Oh, I haven't even washed my hands. Steaming bacon and egg sandwich with tomato ketchup. That is so good. You can't beat cooking out in the open. And no bites, which is handy at the moment. Oh, good. Wow, that was smoked bacon, tomato ketchup, and a fried egg, and it went down very well indeed. I've missed 2 more Zander runs between sort of cooking, eating, and general wandering around. They're very, very finicky bites, so you need to be right on the ball. You need to be really sitting watching, you know, to get the best of the bites and to convert most of those bites. And I mean, you can probably use whole roach like that. With a single hook, you've got to strike them straight away, really. The one benefit you have got is single hooks and barbless, dead easy to turn over and get out the fish, so they are really sort of the way forward for all predators, really including pike as well. But it's a beautiful evening now. That moon has gone right down, or half moon has gone right round behind the trees now, so it's pretty black, dark out there except for my huge floodlight here. And that's trimmed down as well, that's tuned down. Nobody else on this bank, so I'm not letting anybody else to bother. This carp guy's way down there, 300 yards. So I guess I'm going to give it, it's 5 to 8 now. I'll give it about 8:30 I think. But generally what I find is here at Berry Hill on the old lake, it's just that low light conditions which you can catch them, let's say really heavily overcast, drizzly, that type of day. Dave the owner was telling me they don't really go nuts when it's frozen, well it's not when it's frozen solid. When it's freezing cold, he said they don't really come on the bite then. When they do come on the bite is after rainfall, when there's a little bit of colour in the water, which there is now. And wait for this, I heard of one guy, Dave Roberts was telling me earlier on when we were talking to him, from the tackle shop, one guy's already had 14 in one session. Only in one session in one spot. Of course, other people don't catch that, but he was on a honey hole of them there, I guess. So, fish-wise, I think they go up in double figures. I think there's some quite reasonable bigger double figure ones in here now that are growing on. So it's worth a go. Just pick your day, and you can double it up by doing that bream fishing during the day as well. Don't forget, I only started in the afternoon. And I've not fished a swim at all. I've no idea, you know, really where to cast. I've just gone fishing, basically. This definitely is not the Zander's hotspot. It's more down there. And on the other bank, I can't get down there because the other anglers are down there. And then, you know, there's some work going on. I figured that maybe the banging and knocking and building work might have put them off. It's what it's about. Get out there. Give it a go. I'm not done yet. I'm going to give it a half an hour. But probably might have seen the best of it in this particular swim. But who knows? It's almost worth coming for that bacon sandwich. Well, I just missed one then, guys. Hook's all clear. Looks good to me. It's just the way it is. Got one, guys. Got one. Just want to get the net. Get myself sorted out here. Again, I don't think it's a very big one. We'll take whatever comes along. What do I know? It's bigger. Yeah, this one is a bit bigger. Look, I'm not going to say I really know how to hit these bites. All I know is you've got to hit whatever you can. Some you miss, you will miss quite a lot actually. But it's good when you get a fish like this, isn't it? So there we go. I've had a great little session. Bream in the daylight, Zander at dusk. I'm going to give it about 15 minutes. Call it quits. It's such a nice evening. It's a shame to go in, but I will have one more throughout while I pack all the umbrella and everything away. Let's get this guy back. Well, I'll just put that fish back. Just let it recover. Walked away, messed around a bit. Gone back and looked on the surface. You can see it on the surface. Now I'm going to take the camera there and just see if I can pick it up with this camera. It might spook, but if not, it makes a really cool shot of what these predators look like at night in the water. I'm just going to give him a little nudge with a landing net pole. Just packing up, and I've got another fish on. I want to say this one's bigger, but then we always do, don't we? Absolutely still evening, and I nailed this one fast. I hope I'm going to get him in. This will definitely be a closeout fish for me, so I've got to get home. Fishing again tomorrow. I think it's river fishing and then sea fishing after that. He's shaking his head like he's going to spit the bait. Let's get the net. I think he's gone through the other lines. Oh, I'm just going to have to net the whole lot. You probably won't see much of this. But it does feel like a better fish. Pretty much the same. There we go. Peeps. Water everywhere, probably all over the lens. That's going to be my closeout fish. Let's get him on the mat. Well, it was a bit strange because, oh no, it's a slightly bigger fish. You know, see, I struck that one straight away. Here he is. Mr. Z for Zander. What a little trip I'm having. Actually, I've got no water on the lens either. You're going to just pop that up a tad. And you can see here, well, they call it the pipe perch. If you look at the dorsal, there, it's halfway between a pike at the back and a perch here at the front. Hopefully you can see his dorsal. So there you go. Thanks for watching the totally awesome fishing show here at Berry Hill Fisheries. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to watch Mike's TAOUTDOORS. Hit that button as well and the notification bell. And we'll see you in the next fishing show. Wow, not bad old trip.